if you would have bought the Harmonized project, you have end up paying 400k more.
Less feature and smaller. This is a 3-bedder at River Green and it's fully sold out, 786 square feet. Why is it sold out? Is because for 3-bedder, the cost at around 2.18 million to around 2.7 million is very, very attractive.
If you want the honest truth about why you should not buy Harmonized project, keep watching this video. But if you want sales talk, skip this video. Welcome back to yet again to another episode of Haikal Titus Honest Truth, HTHT.
So if you have enjoyed our content, remember to like, share and subscribe. It will really encourage us to continue producing this kind of content. And also don't forget to scan our QR code if you have any questions. So Haikal, last time we talked about why Harmonized condo can be a good buy.
Yes.
And the comments was like, wow, crazy lah, all the DMs that we received.
Yep.
Right? But today, we do Tobalik.
Yep.
So what are we going to talk about today, Haikal?
So for today, we're going to flip the whole narrative, right? Today, we're going to tell you why not to buy Harmonized project. Because even though it might sound efficient and modern, there are real reasons why this might not be the best choice for your lifestyle or your wallet.
So for those who have not watched the last video, we will put the link somewhere in this video. A very quick summary about Harmonized condo. It's basically a new way since 2023. Government came out, URA came out with this new way of measuring floor area. Developer cannot count aircon ledge into the strata area that they are selling you. The high ceiling, they also cannot count into the floor space, right? And all these small thing, of course, the older ones is the bay window and then planter box, but those are like history lah. So on paper, we will see a smaller square feet in terms of the unit.
Correct.
But it will actually reflect more usable or 100% livable space lah.
Yes.
No wasted space.
Correct.
And that sounds fair and honest, right?
Yes, in theory you're right, but I think here's the catch. Firstly, right, for some of the new Harmonized condo, you might end up paying more than you realize. So let's talk numbers first rather than feelings lah. So in 2025, right, the average new launch, if you see this graph, is about 2005.
Okay.
But as you have seen recently, like Newport all crossed over 3000 PSF. This is where the market is heading. However, on the other end, we look at our resale counterparts. They are generally cheaper because the PSF is about 1006 to 1007 on average.
About 1000 difference.
Correct. So if you are a buyer out there who's looking at PSF wise, for whatever reasons, generally you'll be more attracted to resale because why? Cheaper.
Yes.
Right. So now we have a case study to compare in terms of pricing between Harmonized and non-Harmonized project.
New, right?
Correct.
Yeah, we are talking about new.
Both are new.
So the first one we are using as an example is Promenade Peak along Zion Road, which has been launched in 2025, still selling.
Yes.
So their smallest 3-bedder unit is somehow quite big at 1033 square feet. And this comes with a bomb shelter.
Yep.
So we take a look at a level 5 transacted unit is 2.82 million, right? Which is around 2,729 per square feet.
Yep.
Right, and we want to take a look in the same district, a non-harmonized project, okay, also relatively new, Landmark, TOP in 2025. For Landmark, we do have a yard, a WC, as well as private lift as well. The 3-bedder is at 1141 square feet, right? And this gives you a study, a flexi room that you can convert instead of a bomb shelter. So for the same level 5 unit, right, it's transacted at 2.43 million, which is around 2,100 PSF. So the difference between the PSF is around $600 per square feet. So price difference is almost like $500,000 difference.
Yes, it's a lot. So now when you compare the two projects, now you can see if you would have bought the Harmonized project, you have end up paying 400k more than your neighbor who just TOP. And then now when we look at the layout, it gets worse.
Yep.
Right? What do you mean by worse is because for Promenade Peak,
It's a reverse loser. Loser, then you tilt down.
or looks like a gun. Right? So either looks like a loser or a gun. And then when you see the entryway, it feels super cramped for a 3-bedder. For some reason, this feels more like a 1 and 2-bedder, right? But on the other hand, when we see the Landmark, like what Titus has mentioned, they have a private lift, they have a yard and a WC. I think yard is super important for a 3-bedder.
Yes.
Plus, at the end of the day, they have landscape living.
Yes.
Right.
So the last thing that a lot of our buyers in resale market, they always tell us is, I buy a 3-bedder, I really want a yard because I don't want to do laundry at the balcony. I want to enjoy the balcony.
Yes.
Right? So if you don't have yard, then the balcony becomes laundry.
Yes.
Right? Very wasted.
It is.
So if you have watched our layout video, you'll know that landscape living and dining, right, is proven to be the layout that most buyers really like, right? Because it gives the unit a very spacious view rather than the portrait, right, narrow and long kind. So resale buyers really, once they step into the landscape living and dining, right, the feeling is very positive.
Correct. And for the landmark, it is a study instead of a bomb shelter.
Yes.
So with this, right, you get the flexibility to either use it as a storage or a study, or maybe possibly even a guest room. But for Promenade Peak, it's a bit more restricted because it's a bomb shelter lah. Because I'm pretty sure you also don't want to do your work inside the bomb shelter, right?
But honestly, if we hide inside the bomb shelter during war, right, then something happened, you think the bomb shelter will tahan?
I think it will just be one long tower.
Then if Promenade Peak will stay 63 bomb shelter, how you get down?
I also don't know. Maybe they put a slide.
Helicopter. Because the staircase, the staircase gone already ma. Let's say lah.
You have to hope for the best. So maybe you buy Promenade Peak by the lower floors. In case of war, you feel safe.
Okay.
You don't need to be so high up there.
Yeah, because I always think, they say one stack after bomb shelter, right, it will stay ma. But then how the person come down?
So maybe you should advise your buyers next time.
Free solo.
Yes.
Free solo down.
What you should keep in the bomb shelter in case there's a war. How to come down.
My client's bomb shelter can't even go inside.
Because too many things.
Yeah lah.
This is what Singaporeans use their bomb shelter for. Or become a storeroom.
So to sum it up, if you have bought Promenade Peak, you would have paid more for a unit that has less feature and smaller. So this is exactly when you should not be buying a harmonized project. You have to really look at the layout against competitors around the areas.
And the price point as well. So now we go on to point 2 where we talk about shrinkflation is real.
What?
Shrinkflation.
Again?
Shrinkflation.
Okay.
So what does it mean is because harmonized units, right, are usually more honest on papers, right? So now developers got this excuse, let's make all the units smaller.
Yes.
Right, so before harmonization, right, what's the typical 3-bedder Titus, the size?
1,000, 1,002.
Yep.
Yeah, comfortable.
So now moving on to the harmonization era, right, we see 3-bedders average is about 800 to 900 square feet.
Yes.
Some even lesser than 800 square feet.
Yep.
So what this means is basically same pricing range, smaller rooms and a snugger space. What do you think, Titus?
So I think the space compact lah, but only when you live in it for an extended period of time, then you will realize that actually it's not as cozy as it is lah. You would want something a little bit bigger lah.
Yes, correct. So this one is depending on your preference basically.
Yeah, like you go hotel, 1 day, 2 days can lah.
But for 1 year, 2 years,
I don't think anyone can stay in a hotel for extended period of time.
we'll go crazy maybe.
Cannot even open the window.
So when it comes to buying new launch, right, you might understand harmonization pricing.
Yes.
It is cheaper than non-harmonized. So your first job is done. But now let's take a look at the example that you have, Titus.
Okay, so we take a look at this example, right? This is a 3-bedder at River Green and it's fully sold out, 786 square feet.
Wow.
It's harmonized. Why is it sold out? Is because for 3-bedder, the cost at around 2.18 million to around 2.7 million for River Valley, right, is very attractive.
Not bad.
So 3-bedder, River Valley, 2.18 million to 2.7 million. Wow, actually seems reasonable.
Attractive.
But if we look at the layout, right, for resale buyers, next time when they want to come into 3-bedder in this area, they really want something more functional because it's really for own stay.
Yep.
Right? So that's where we want to look at the layout of this 786 square feet, Haikal.
Right, so when we break down the 3-bedder, right, so if you look at bedroom 3, which is at the bottom, it's 7 square meters.
Yep.
So definitely only can fit a single, and then we go to bedroom 2, slightly smaller, which is about 8 square meters. So nowadays developers are giving 9 square meters for their common room, right, and their master is only 11 square meters.
Yes.
So usually for 3-bedders, the master usually goes up from 12 to maybe 14 square meters. Right, so in terms of price, yes, it's great. But in terms of livability, not the best.
Yep.
Because why? Because this 3-bedder, right, I think some buyers might even consider it as a 2+ study.
Yes.
Because when future buyers are looking to buy from you, all these resale buyers, right, most of them don't care whether it's harmonized.
Because we must understand the resale buyers, right? They really step into the unit. They are more of a look and feel already.
Correct.
Because they can totally feel the space, they can see everything.
Yep.
Right? They step in, they feel big, it's big. They feel it's small, it's small.
Yes.
Right? So these are the resale behaviors in terms of buyer as compared to maybe new launch buyers. They kind of see floor plan, right?
Correct.
So you can't really feel and you can't really have the physical feel of the whole unit itself. You can try to imagine. Then you think that, actually 7 and 8 square meter, 1 square meter.
Not much difference.
Not much difference lah. Then 11 and 14, wow, not much difference lah. Right? But everything is not much difference, not much difference.
Yep.
Actually, there's
A lot of difference.
yeah.
So like what Titus I mentioned, right? So when it comes to resale buyers, they care about how big the bedroom feel, right? Can the kids share the room? Right? Can the guests sit in the living room comfortably without feeling cramped? So these I think are questions that most local families will ask. Because when they walk into maybe an older non-harmonized project, they might say, wow, this feels more spacious. Even though maybe it's not efficient.
Yes.
There's a lot of walkway, maybe there's a bay window. But in terms of the feel, you make them feel more at home.
Yes.
As compared to maybe this 786 square feet, which might be a bit more cramped. But if you are someone who wants to stay in the location, then no choice. You have to compromise on the size.
However, if you have done your homework correctly or spoke to your trusted agent, right, you would know when you want to pick a harmonized and when not to pick a harmonized. If you need help identify what is a good layout or what is a bad layout, then our QR code will be happy to share more with you.
So next also we want to discuss about the rental market reality, right? So maybe some investors might think, right, harmonized tenants will pay more. But in reality,
They don't care.
yes, they really don't care. So for a tenant, they might compare an older, maybe a 1,001 square feet. Maybe the rental is about 4,007 to 4,008. Then the newer one at 850 square feet, maybe it's going about 5,000 to 5,002. Sure, there is a higher PSF rent, but the total rent difference is small. So maybe for most tenants, right, I think they will pick more space
Yes.
for the less squeeze.
I think to put it simply, right, let's say for example you go holiday, you got Ritz-Carlton, which is 20 years old building.
Yep.
Shangri-La, just built only.
New one.
You are the first person who stay in.
Yeah.
Would you pay more for Shangri-La as compared to Ritz-Carlton if it's like 20-30% more? Because it's new.
Maybe not.
Because you don't care, ma.
Correct.
Right? Because you trust that the older one, Ritz-Carlton, is also of a good quality.
Still reliable.
Yeah, so this is what we are trying to say that, okay, it doesn't mean that, wow, it's new, people will always flock to it even though it's more expensive lah.
Correct. So for those investors out there, right, looking to rent a Ponky collection, please make sure you know who's your target audience when you want to rent it out.
Yes.
And make sure you buy the right unit. Because if not, there'll be two problems. First is you cannot rent, then next thing you cannot sell.
Wow,
Then you
that
get
one.
stuck.
So you must be, your pocket must be quite deep lah.
Yes.
Then you can pay for the mortgage lah.
Then you start bleeding.
Yeah,
then if you
which-
start bleeding, you can call us. We will
Which
help you.
when I experienced that 5-6 months, I really don't like it lah.
You can watch our dairy farm video here, where Titus struggled with his new launch project.
So Haikal, are we saying that we should buy the older layout and harmonized project are not so good in this market today?
Actually, no. So there are good reasons why people buy harmonized project. Right? Basically, they are newer facilities,
Yes.
modern finishes.
Yes.
In terms of layout, is definitely more efficient,
Yes.
and maybe for maintenance might be lower.
And one thing that I noticed about new launched harmonized project, the smaller 3-bedder and the 2-bedders, right, no longer have this privilege of having windows in the kitchen, windows in the bathroom.
Correct.
It's only the bigger 3-bedder unit or the 4 or 5-bedder which is built at the corner.
Yes.
Then they will have this kind of things. If I remember correctly, I saw River Modern Layout, 1098 3-bedder.
Okay.
Right. Anything smaller than that, right? No windows in the kitchen, no windows in the bathroom. Only bigger than that, then they will have this privilege. But it's very important for own stay because I think a lot of people ask, hey, why your agent keep talking about windows? Hotel, never mind. 3-4 days, never mind.
Short
But
term.
you are staying there for 5 years, 8 years. These small details really make a lot of difference.
Yep, correct. Right. So to make sure it all makes sense, is that you should consider when they are cheaper than resale or similar price to the new launch.
Yes.
The layout makes sense, especially for the 3, 4, 5 bedders.
Yes.
Because the variation can be a lot. For the smaller bedrooms are still okay. Right. So for the bigger units, please be careful and mindful of the layout you choose, and you have to be practical. Because if not, there is no demand from resale buyers.
Yes.
End up you getting stuck, which is
Yep.
not what we want at the end of the day.
So if you have found this episode helpful, do like, share and subscribe for more property insights and breakdowns. Comment harmonized or not, and then share with us your project that you are comparing. We will be happy to do a breakdown for you in the next video. And once again, thanks for watching Haikal Titus Honest Truth. HTHT. We see you in the next episode.
Bye.
Bye.